Hey sassies, how are you guys doing? It's good to see you here. JJ, why do you keep doing that? So thanks for being here with me. If you're an always subscriber, thank you for hanging in there with your girl. I appreciate you so much. And if you're new, welcome and thanks for stopping by. We have a lot of fun. We talk about books, we talk about perfume, glamour, and y'all, sometimes just life, okay? Sometimes just life. So let's get into this book, because I'm not gonna hold y'all. So this book is The Final Strife by Sarah L. Arifi. And I hope I did not butcher your name. This book, first of all, look at this cover. So this, I'm sure this is Sila. This book, y'all, is, I almost don't have words. This is a thick one. I'm on page 246. I just started it a few days ago, but then I stopped to read a different book on my Kindle. Actually, I read 2 books. So I'm picking this one back up. And sometimes when they're so thick, sometimes when they're really so thick, I'm not intimidated. I hear people say, oh, it intimidated. No, I've been reading so long. It doesn't intimidate me. And I don't count the acknowledgments and the glossary as pages. Some people do. They'll say, oh, it's this many pages. But I'm going to the very last page. I'm trying not to be spoiled. 577. So in actual pages of the actual book, it's 577 pages. It does contain a glossary. Don't let that intimidate you either. As you see, I've been annotating, and I've read further than the annotations. I just got so into the story, so I'll go back because I still, did my highlighting. What I love about this book so far is that it gives everything. I mean, the main character, Sila, she's complicated. So she's a complicated character. And I love a complicated character. I write about complicated characters. No one is a blanket, oh, she's a nice person. Blanket, she's an evil person. Just smooth. When I say blanket, I just mean that's it. That's to sum a person up. People are complicated. People are not just one-dimensional. And so Miss Sarah did a good job of, so far, the characters in here that I'm identifying with. There's a lot going on too. That's why you keep seeing me, because I'm like, is she the main character? But and I know that sounds a little crazy, but there's a lot of characters, but it's not, the characters don't overwhelm you. So what I mean by that is, no, there are not too many characters. There's a character named Anur that I am really intrigued by. She's also not one-dimensional. She may have this feeling about her mother in one aspect, and then turn around and say the opposite about her mom in another aspect. So, but she pretty much has the same feeling, but the feelings also how Anur feels about her mom and the reasons why, a lot of different things play into it. I love the way the characters are being presented to me. I love the world is definitely not complicated. It picks up and it keeps going. Now there's not a whole lot of, I would say, action, because this is a fantasy book. So it's trying to build the world, let me know what's going on. It says in the first book of a visionary fantasy trilogy with its roots in the mythology of Africa and Arabia, 3 women band together against a cruel empire that divides people by blood. So there is a lot of racism, there's prejudice, there's also, people thinking with stereotypes. How familiar does this sound, y'all? There's even a land that they refer to that the characters are trying to figure out what's the history with that land, as in, what's the history of my real people type of thing. So I really adore this book. I adore the cover. When my daughter and I saw this cover, saw the book being talked about on YouTube, towards the end of last year or so, I started seeing the book being talked about, and we were like, we're gonna get it. I was just thinking to myself, I hope it's good. I don't trust everybody's writing, but kind of looking it up on Amazon and being able to, where you could read a sample, I said, okay, I might be, and sure enough, her writing style is very easy to get into. It really is. She's not too wordy for no reason, none of that. So, and check out this map, y'all. So there's a map because there is some world building, the Warden's Empire. So I'm not finished with the book, plus I don't really give spoilers. If I begin giving spoilers, I will, of course, it'll be announced in the title. So this is what it looks like with the jacket off, and I'm always reading it with the jacket off. I'm taking very good care because we have an off-white cover, almost beigey. So I definitely am not walking around with this beautiful cover. I so wish that this was on the actual book cover. Check out my video with Bram Stoker's Dracula that I received. Me and Maya did a video unboxing that, and how I explained that beautiful cover is actually, there's no jacket. It's the cover. The physical book itself has that beautiful cover on it. But you guys, I am quickly reading this. And the only reason I stopped, I got intrigued by another book, watching More to Marry. Y'all don't get caught up with More to Marry. More to Marry will have you reading some stuff, okay? Spice. So me and my daughter, we like her channel. It's very refreshing. But she will, her title, I'm getting back to spice. Let me tell you some spicy titles. And that she did. And your girl kind of stopped reading this to get the book Tormented. I read Tormented Part 1 and Tormented Part 2 on my Kindle. And I'm so glad I did. It's not for everybody. Tormented. It's not for everybody. So that's Tormented. And so I read 1 and 2. There's, I believe, 5 books. The author is Dylan Page. Tormented Part 1, Tormented Part 2. And then you have Ashes is the 3rd book. And from what I can tell by finishing the second, should I say? I could say the third book is there's some new characters being introduced in the third book. Those were quick reads, 1-2 days, and that's just because during the day I'm busy doing things. If you really just had time to just read and just eat, then you could really finish that book in a day, both of them. It took me 2 days to finish each. So I took a break from her to do that. And I was glad I did, because but More to Mary had me going with those 2 books, and I put some other ones on my list. So once again, Tormented is not, you should be an adult, preferably over 25, but as long as you are an adult over 21, read at your own risk. There's angst in the book. There's the stories center around men that are in a motorcycle club, and they're women. The narrator of the story, the first person, she began telling the story as like a 7-year-old kid. So there are trigger warnings. Check your own trigger warnings. I don't shy away from subjects. It's fiction. And if you you should know as an adult that life is stranger than fiction. So believe me, and as an author, our imaginations create. And you may think, oh, this is sordid. This is over the top, or how could you write about this going on, and these ages, this, and a lot of us have a lot of threshold stoppers. I'm not going past this. So that is wonderful, and that is fine. That is just not me. So I can read and understand it's fiction, and also understand that I can turn on the news and see that and worse. So as far as how did this happen type of thing. So anyway, those books were very entertaining. There's a lot of trauma going on, and they were very interesting. I'm glad I read them. They may not be for you. They're not for everyone. So sort of do your own research. But I did enjoy the books, and I'm not recommending it though. Unless you are an adult. I would say for both books, I think I gave one 4 stars and the second one 5 stars. And the first one did not get 5 stars because I'll do a video. I'll do a video. But anyway, so this book, I really like it. I like the pace. I love the character building. It tells about the world. It tells about the different classes of people. And it's just a really, really good read so far, y'all. I was in a either Breeze Sprint or it was either Bree or Brianna. I'm so bad with names, y'all. Brianna Shanae, Brandy Shanae. Blah, blah. I'm so horrible with names. It's really just not funny. Okay, Brandy. And I love you, Brandy. I do the same thing with people that I've known in person forever. So please don't be offended. Like I said, everybody's different. My thing is I typically give everyone a nickname for that reason. I'm constantly renaming people for a reason. Yes, Brandy Shanae, or else I was on Breeze Sprint. So I was either on Brandy Shanae Sprint or Breeze Sprint. And they were, we were just saying what we were reading, etc., etc. So the Final Strife was mentioned because the second book is out, and it's called Drum Something Drum, And y'all's girl be tripping, don't she? Like, how are you on here and don't know the name of nothing? Just give me a second. Give me a second. But anyway, talking about that second book, I was like, oh, I got to read The Final Strife. And everybody in the comments went crazy. We're about to kick you out. You need to be, what are you doing? Put down everything else you're reading. Pick that book up. Don't talk to us until you've read this book. And what happens with me, I get a lot of books from the library because I love the library, and I had been buying my own books, collecting books, big collection, hundreds of books. But I moved, changed my lifestyle a bit, and I had to donate. I have a video on that. Watch the video. I'll probably link it. It might not be linked as soon as this goes up, but I'll come back and link it. But it's a video where I'm saying, watch me, I have to donate books or something like that. And that was very sad because some of those books I had since I was, and I'm just looking down trying to look up the name of the second book. So some of those books, you guys, I had since primary school. And it was really kind of strange. Now, I did bring a few books with me, but yeah, sometimes we collect all these beautiful books. But when you get to be over 50, you might not want to lug the whole library around every time you move, when you can just either go to the library, buy a few books, and utilize a Kindle. So I have a Kindle. I have the Kindle app is on my computer, it's on my phone, it's on my iPad. And then for convenience, see the size of this as compared to the size of, okay, so this is, okay. So I'm traveling around, taking flights. Yeah, I would rather carry this. And then that way this holds its own storage and I don't have to bog that down. But I can access my Kindle on here. And what I love about the Kindle on my iPad, as well as the computer, anyway, y'all, while I'm gonna jump in on my own self. So the second book to this lovely book is called The Battle Drum. And I'm just waiting for the picture to load, y'all. But here her is. So you see the beautiful sister, or you can get, I think this was the first edition where it just, okay, that's Final Strife. Get it together, JJ. And that's the Battle of the Battle Drum. But also, I thought the Battle Drum might have a different cover too. So, Battle Drum would be the second in the series. So, I'm loving this book. But yeah, so what I was going to show y'all for before I interrupted my own self, on my Kindle on here, you see how it's in color. So all the books are in color, as opposed to on my actual Paperwhite that I just got here recently. The cover, everything is in black and white, which that's cool too. And that might be how you can store so many books without hardly taking up any storage. But I like this. But then check this out, you guys. Check something out. So think my daughter took it out already. We got Torment and Torment Part 2 on Unlimited. And so every time I finish one, I tell her we'll take that out. But you're not missing much because this is the third one. And even though, so I wasn't missing much as far as the cover being in black and white. That's my whole point. But yeah, instead of carrying this around where I do business on here, things are, I use my iPad for different to do other activities other than reading. So here, this is strictly for reading, and sometimes it's cool to have something strictly for reading. And it's not a book, and it's thin, and it just drops in a bag. You go to your cafe, bam. You're on your plane, bam. You're in your hotel, at your relative's house or whatever, bam. It's just simple. So this is my Kindle Paperwhite that I just got a few months ago, and I love her. This is the cover. So anyway, yeah, I love this. I love the story. I love the pace. They're building right now, the whole situation is that they're building up to a competition, a fighting competition. And everything that's going on is building up to this competition. And every chapter tells you how many days to the competition. You have, now we're like this one. And I have 2 bookmarks, y'all. Have y'all ever tried this? This is the bookmark for where I am in the book. And then I marked, so it's supposed to have been last night, that I was supposed to get to this point in the book, which would be more than halfway through. So of course, today I'm going to get more than halfway through, and I hope I keep going. And I intend to finish this book, hopefully this weekend, unless I start reading Ashes, which is the 3rd book in that torment. It's called the Bleeding Heart series. The Bleeding Heart series. And again, I'm not actually recommending it. I'm just saying I enjoyed it. It contains, like explicit sex scenes, but so does my book, Sing About That Black Rose, which is also available on Kindle, my book. But so I understand that. However, it's pretty much packed with that. But however, it has a storyline that is just full of, it touches on mental health issues. It's a thriller in a sense. It's got family, I wouldn't even say family drama, family chaos, friendship chaos. There are, of course, violent scenes. Anytime anyone mentions, hey, this book there's a motorcycle club featured in it. Of course, there's going to be violence. Think Sons of Anarchy. So pretty much, if you were a fan of Sons of Anarchy, then you would enjoy the Bleeding Heart series, or at least the first 2 books in that series, because I don't know how she's changing up for the 3rd book. So, which I may start reading. But yeah, I'm really just loving it. I just like her as a writer, and I'm surprised. I don't know why I am, but a lot of writers, I'll like reading them, and I can read their work, and they're fine. But just to go with a lot of books, and I go in and I'm reading it, and I never expect much. I think most writers don't expect much. And when I say that, it's not that I'm like, oh, are you a good writer? That's not it. It's just, to wow me has to be, it just because I say that it's a good book. And sometimes, yes, I recommend it. I definitely recommend this so far. That doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to just, this writer is such a great writer, this and such and so. The story is told very well, the person was creative, and I enjoyed reading it. Now this, I can say, she is a really good writer. She really is. I really enjoyed reading. I really am enjoying this. And it's not like trying to be too much. A lot of fantasy books, sometimes you're trying too hard. You're trying too hard. You want me to get into the story. You want me to love the story. And I think that's why we like Sarah J. Maas, because you can get into her story. Same thing with Leigh Bardugo. You can pick it up, read it, and it's not just trying to be too much. But yeah, this is really good, y'all. And right on the cover, red is the blood of the elite, of magic, of control. Blue is the blood of the poor, of workers, of the resistance. Clear is the blood of the slaves, of the crushed, of the invisible. So yeah, there are slaves in here as well. There's a caste system. So it's reminiscent of what Black people went through, being stolen or sold, which I still have issues with that. From Africa and brought over to America, and so it has echoes of that, but it's not trying to be that, if that makes sense. But it does have prejudice, it does have racism, but so does the world, so does the United States, so does. So it's not as though it's trying to take you back into that time, in my opinion, or I don't think I would enjoy it as much. It just reminds me of a good story, and that's why I am definitely enjoying it. It's taking me back to when I was a kid, and I used to just love to sit around and read good stories. Not that this is by any means for children or anything like that, but just the being in awe of a good story, y'all. And that's me. I'm always searching for a good story. I love good stories. So I give this all the kudos. I give the people that were getting, the readers that were saying, you better go get your life. What are you waiting for? What are you reading? Put it down, which I can't necessarily do that all the time. That's why I may stop this during the weekend and dig into yet some more library books. We did a vlog of our visit. I don't think that'll be up when you see this video. It might be on Maya Pretty Minis channel first, but I'm definitely going to post that on my channel as well, of our trip to the library, where Maya was modeling some new books they had for YA. She's in her 20s, y'all, so of course she's the first suitable, but I like YA too. I think I hear, on YouTube, a lot of adults that love to read also include YA. This is not YA, but I just really like it. I see what they were talking about. I see what the hype is about. I'm so glad I'm reading it. And it can be a quick read. I heard when I was researching the book before I purchased it, so that would have been it was this year. Time is just going by so quickly. It's already June, but it's already almost the last day of June already. It's hard to believe. So when I was researching it, I came across a person or two that said, I read that, in 2 days, or I'm reading that in 2-3 days. And I'm like, girl, you're trying to read a 600 page, but you really can. You really can. I've gotten all the way to, like I said, 247, and I haven't put a lot of reading time into it. I really haven't. So I can just imagine if I really had, and it was the only book I had been reading, I would be finished. And that would be in less than a week. So, get into it. This is a good book. A good book. I'm not finished, so I don't have my final review, but I cannot see this being less than 5 stars or less than 10 stars on my scale. So I just wanted to come by, let you guys know what I'm reading, what I'm excited about, and this is definitely it, along with the torment. Okay, so I'll check y'all later. Peace.